All right, there we go. Okay, so based on last night's live video, I decided it was time for me to do kind of like a beginner video. What do you do with minimal supplies? And so I'm going to be sharing a couple of different cards with what I consider are basic supplies. Okay. So I love the coordination with Stampin' Up. So this is one of my new favorites. So I'm going to show how to make several cards with the hand pen suite. Now you wouldn't need all of this product, but that's a really great price, and that would include the dies as well. But if you stuck with just the stamp set, $22, and then the designer series paper, which would be $11.50, and then you got your basic supplies, which I feel are basic white Stampin' paper, and then basic white thick for creating your card bases, and then basic white envelopes. Also black ink. So I'm only going to use just black ink today. The really nice thing about this this hand pen is it has these black outlines. So tomorrow I'm going to come back and show you some options with more color. But let's just start with the basics of how do you even get started making a card. Well, when you buy Stampin' Up paper, it's going to come in a pack like this, and the basic white cardstock that you would stamp on has 40 sheets in it. So that is a lot of stamping. Now this I cut into pieces and I stamp on this, and then my card bases are always made with the basic white thick or some other cardstock. So if you're going to make a card base, you would just you would put this in your trimmer. And yes, a trimmer is definitely one of the basics. And I like to line this up at 4 1/4. This is generally how I make it, but you could also line it up at 5 1/2. That's the halfway mark on this 8.5 by 11 sheet. And then score it. So the Stampin' Up! Trimmer comes with a blade and also a scoring blade. And then just turn it around and push it up against the edge right here, and then move it over to 5 1/2. So I realized that the view is a little wonky for tonight, and I apologize for that. I didn't bring my stand for my phone, so I'm just making do. All right, so then you would take that card base and fold it. Now the nice thing about making your card base with Whisper White, I'm just taking a bone folder and creasing that, giving that a nice crease. The nice thing about working with Whisper White is that you could stamp directly on this, and so you could make a quick and easy card. So why don't we go ahead and do that? And again, using minimal supplies and just black ink tonight. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper. Now this, you don't need to have this kind of paper for working under your surface, although I think it's very helpful to have those grid lines there. And then let's just find an image. How about this one right here? And let's grab an acrylic block. So you are going to need some acrylic blocks, and some in different sizes will be helpful. Hello, Martha. Oh, glad you caught me live today. So let's just stamp that right there, just like that. And then I'm just going to use a little piece of designer series paper. So bring this back in, and let me just show you real quick some of these beautiful papers here. So this designer series papers has these like solid colors, and then also floral images, and there are two that I'm not showing you right now, but I will be showing those to you. So I'm just going to pick, say, like this one that has the blushing bride. And I'm going to cut that off to 1 inch. And like I said, I'm keeping it really, really simple. And then let's find one of those greetings in there. How about thanks? That is a really nice thanks. So this is photopolymer, and so it's best when you're stamping with photopolymer. And here's another trick. If you're afraid that you're going to bend the image of the stamp, then you can just pick it up like that, okay? Another thing about the lines that allows you to, that helps you out, is that you can put this along one of your lines and then just put the stamp over it to pick it up, also lining up your stamp on the lines that are on your grid paper, okay? So let's grab that black ink. So those of you who are used to watching me do lots and lots of things on my cards, this is going to be a shocking evening for you. But I hope you'll get some fun ideas. And if you do, okay, so that was kind of low, but I think I'm just going to stick with it because, like I said, my situation here is really kind of odd. Okay, so I need some scissors. Scissors are another essential tool. And I'm just going to trim this off like this. And then notice how the image in the paper coordinates with the image that I just stamped. And I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. I think that Stampin' Dimensionals are an essential tool. As a matter of fact, I'm getting down to about the end of what I've got here. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip off the side. I do like to use, isn't that pretty? And then let me grab a little bit more. There we go. If you are joining me live, I would love for you to say hello. Let me know that you're there. And if you're watching on the replay, it's still lovely to hear from you. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that I'm doing. Any of the products that I'm using. And then that's going to go in there like that. And I probably need another dimensional over there. Let me cut another piece of that off. Under there like that. And then I'm going to turn this over that way and trim that off. Okay. And there I have a sweet, simple card. And that just took me just a couple of moments. Hello, Zena. Zena, I think that I haven't seen you live with me before. Have you been able to join one of my lives before, or is this the first time watching? Okay, so let's get started on a second one. So because I cut that whole sheet of paper, I do have another card base ready to go. So let's just give that a good crease. And then this time I'm going to take, so I went through and cut all of my papers down to 4.5. So they're 12 by 12, and I cut the whole strip at 4 1/4. Oh my goodness, 12:25 in the UK. Oh my goodness, what are you doing up so late? Are you always up this late? So this is 4 1/4. Already cut to a strip of 4 1/4. So now I'm just going to cut it to 5.5. And this is going to go on the entire, I'm going to cover up the whole thing. So if you don't have a lot of colors in cardstock, then using your DSP is a great way to go. And of course, you could use um, whatever's your favorite side. I wanted to keep my background simple. So I'm using this liquid glue and I'm getting it close to the edge, but not too close to the edge because it will squish out. And then line that up. I did a fairly good job of cutting and measuring. So now I'm just going to take my bone folder and burnish that a little bit. Make sure that it's stuck down really well. And for this card, I have cut a piece of basic white, not the thick. So this is the kind that I'm just going to stamp on. And then I have cut this to, let's see if I can measure this. So this is 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4, 3 by 4 1/4. Okay. And then I also took a strip of this paper. Let me show you a bigger piece. So here's a bigger piece, and it has the pale papaya, kind of a solid looking pale papaya here. And I cut a strip off of it that's 1 by 5 1/2. And this is going to go on here underneath this stamped panel. So I'm just kind of lining it up to see where I'm going to put it. And that looks pretty good. So I'll just use that liquid glue again. So this is obviously a little more detailed than the first card, but still the amount of supplies hasn't changed. The type of supplies that I'm using hasn't changed at all. I'm just using more pieces of the DSP. Okay, and then that's going to go in there like that. And then I also cut a piece of this. Let me show you this. So this is the garden green background. And then there's the other side. Aren't these really beautiful floral papers? All right, so that is going to go, let's see, how did I want this one to go? I think all the way across. Yes. And then I think I'm going to stamp on here. So these are going to get put together. So I'll go ahead and use, I can use a lot of thank you cards. So I'm going to just stick with that sentiment. But they have a feel better friend and anything is possible, and also congratulations. And this time, no, I'm going to try. I'm going to move this a little closer to me to see if I can get this stamped on here a little better. So I apologize for going out of the camera to do that. So there we go. And now I'm going to show you a little trick for getting the same angle. So I'm going to cut another angle like that. Before I do any trimming for how it's going to go on the card, I'm just going to line them up and hold them and then cut them both. And then what I can do is move this one back a little bit, and now I have the perfect edge cut at the same angle. So if I cut them together, they're going to end up cut at the same angle. So my trimmer creates a little edge because I actually trimmed this on the other side. So I'm just going to rub that little edge that pokes up. And, you know, most people aren't actually going to see that, but it bothers me, so I like to rub it down. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue these together again with the liquid glue. And I'm going to use a different image for this one. So, did you guys do anything fun? Get any stamping done today? You started to say something about the stamp but didn't finish your thought. What were you going to say? Hmm. I don't remember. If you can tell me something else about what I was saying about the stamp set or the particular thanks stamp. I kind of have a horrible habit of doing that, not finishing my thoughts. Okay, so the stamp set has, I've used this one, I used this one on the first one, and now I'm going to use this one right here. And again, just a simple black image looks really good in combination with this DSP because the DSP has those black outlines on there as well. So I think something like this. And another thing that creates a lot of interest in your images is when you stamp off the page a little bit. There we go. So this is going to go on here, and I think we'll pop that up on some dimensionals. I can't believe I didn't stick another pack of dimensionals in my bag. I may have to make a trip to Michael's while I'm here, or Hobby Lobby, and get some more dimensionals. These are definitely an essential. I'm inking barbecue sticks. So why are you inking barbecue sticks? What are you going to use them for? There we go. And then here's my greeting. That's going to go on there like that. And I'm going to need a dimensional under there. So let me go ahead and cut this off. So Martha, I don't know if you heard, but I am in something about polymer. Okay, I remember. I know what to say then. Okay, so Martha, I don't know if you heard, but I'm in El Cajon right now. My brother has a camper for me to stay in. Jackson and I came out early, and then Sean and his mom will join us on Saturday for the wedding. I did not get that very careful. Lined up very carefully. All right, so again, open up your card and then cut along the edge. Just kind of keeping your scissors up along the edge. There we go. And this is going together pretty fast. How do you like that black and white image combined with that paper? I think I love it. It's got a really unique look to it, doesn't it? All right, I have another idea for you. The Evening Evergreen Ink Stink. Evening Evergreen. Oh, awesome. Well, Zena, I think that you should go to Rosie Scrapper Stampers and let us see what it looks like. The wedding is for Sean's son Keith. All right, so I have one more card to show you, and I hope that this has been helpful. Oh wait, I still haven't finished my thought about the photopolymer. Okay, so photopolymer stamps require a little bit of cushion underneath when you stamp with them. Because I'm using this like plastic pad under here, this is just a Fiskars Self Healing Matte. It was already in my stamping bag, so this is enough of a cushion. But you'll notice that when in my other videos that I often will grab a foam pad and put that under before I stamp. And then I will also show you a quick and easy way to decorate the envelopes, which I've shown before. But in case someone is watching this for the very first time, I think it's important to see, if you're going to work with minimal supplies, how you can really dress up your envelopes and send a little piece of art through the mail. Now, everybody who touches it, everybody who sees it, it goes through their hands, they get to be like, oh, this is pretty. How lucky the recipient of this mail is, right? Okay, so this is the garden green color. And then this is going to go on here like that after I stamp on it. And then we're going to put this over the top of it. All right. So I'm going to stamp both above and below. I'm going to use that same large image. And then if you join me tomorrow, which I'm not really sure of the time of tomorrow's, it's probably going to be even later. I'm going to put the leaves up and kind of go off a little bit there. And then do the same thing up here. Oops, just dropped the ink on my shirt. That's probably not too smart. Now, I am going to be covering this up, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp on top of that image because I know that the middle of this is going to be covered. And we're ready to glue that down. And I'm not going to go in the middle. I'm going to put it a little further over to the left. And I don't think I really want that to be all the way across. I think I would like to trim that down a little bit. So let me pull up the trimmer. I'm going to go even there and then cut off about to the middle there. So I think I'm going to cut off a whole inch. And I'm feeling like that blends in a little too much. So I think I might switch that to, actually, would that work? I think I'm going to go with the pink. So this is 3 1/4. So I'm going to make that 3 1/2 by 2. 2 inches by 3 1/2. Paper straws. Yes, paper straws do ink. I would imagine they would ink well. There we go. Okay, love it. All right, so let me find some more basic white and let's go ahead and stamp another thanks. This time, again, minimal supplies, but I think a punch is a fun thing to have. And if you don't have a punch, you could easily just, cut a rectangle the size of the thing But I have the Tailor Tag punch here, which I think is a fabulous punch. And then I have shown this little trick with the Tailor Tag a few times before, but it never hurts to show it again for those of you who might be new. So I'm going to take this piece here and cut or punch one out with the Tailor Tag. And then I just want to audition it and see if I want to do that or if I want to do that. And I think on here, this would look great. Zena, I hope I'm saying your name right. I really, really hope that you will go to Rosie Scrapper Stampers and share your project with us. You have my curiosity piqued. So using a little bit of ink there. And just going for like 1/8 of an inch frame above. And let's do the same thing on the lower edge. And get this glued down. That on dimensionals, and another one done. So if you have found anything in tonight's video that you found helpful or pretty, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. I can't decide how I would like to have that. I think I'm going to try to eyeball the center of the actual card. There we go. Okay. So now if you wanted to add some more to these cards, to these very simple cards, a great way to add some interest is with a little bit of bling. The genial gems are what are suggested in the, I'm looking for them, I thought I had them all here. In the catalog as coordinating with this set. No, I can't find them. But let's go ahead and do an envelope. Definitely need to show you the envelope, and then I'll show you the 3 cards that we made and see which one is your favorite. I'd love to have you vote. Okay. So for this card, I'm going to use that little piece right there. And if you wanted, you could use the yellow. But if you cut your piece to 6.5 by 2 or 6 by 2.5, that is a really good size for doing your envelope flap. And then I like to just spread and make sure that I have the glue all the way up to the edge. And then turning it over. and cutting right along the edge of the envelope flap. And then let's do a little bit of stamping on the envelope front. Still have that flower floral image on my block. So let's just do a little bit right there. And then you could also do that on the inside. Dressing it all up. One ink color. Can you even believe I did my stamping tonight with one ink color? There we go. Alrighty. So tomorrow I'm going to be showing you some options for this same stamp set with some more colors and probably some paper piecing. So here are the 3 cards. Let's see. We did this one first. Super simple. And then this one was the second one. Adding a few more layers of paper, Designer Series paper. And then this one with the envelope and a punch. So keeping it super simple tonight. And thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope that you would do that. And also sharing my videos out with anybody that you might think could benefit from seeing them. Don't send them to people who wouldn't like stamping videos. Send it to people who would love it. And I hope that I will see you tomorrow. Until later, I think I'm going to go find a good seafood restaurant to have dinner in. Bye. Oh, I missed some people who joined me. Sorry. Susan. Hello, Susan. Hello, Holly. I wasn't seeing the messages pop up on Facebook. So thanks you guys so much for joining. And thanks for sharing out. And Martha. So Martha says number 2 is her favorite. Anybody else want to cast their vote for which one is their favorite? Honestly, I think I'm leaning towards 1 tonight. I think this turned out great. Super simple. I would totally send that, I think. I might add just a little bit of coloring to it. Some simple coloring. And Zaina also votes for 2. You're welcome. Thanks for joining. Good night.